Let us learn about how to solve two-step inequalities, and we're looking at the special cases here. We're going to look at the steps we use to solve two-step inequalities, and we're going to see how we can apply those steps in solving some examples. So we follow, generally when you're dealing with inequalities, the steps are very similar. You want to isolate variables. In this case, with two steps, you may have to do two things to get to the answer. You want to isolate variables and then solve the variable. And then you want to also, once you solve the variable, you want to pay attention to the position of the variable and the constant. If the constant, this example for example here, if your variable is a and your constant is c, and the variable is on the left side of the inequality and your constant is on the right side, you can leave the answer that way. But if your variable is on the right side and your constant is on the left side, you want to switch them around and then you're going to change the sign. But here in the special case, what happens here is your variable has a negative coefficient, and what that means is that the number in front of your variable is a negative number. So you're going to have to divide or multiply by a negative number, and when you do that, it also forces you to change the sign. And here we're showing you the opposites right here. If you have greater than, after you change the sign, it should be less than. If you have greater than equal to, after you change the sign, it should be less than equal to. Now, let's go ahead and walk through some examples. So, minus 4x greater than 15 minus x. So, I'm going to isolate the variables. So, I'm going to add x to both sides plus x. So, I have minus 4x plus x is minus 3x greater than 15. So we divide by minus 3, which is the coefficient of x. And so we have x here and we have negative 5. Because we're dividing by a negative number, we have to switch the sign. Now we have a situation here. So we have negative 0.5 x plus 3 greater than 1.5. So I'm going to subtract 3 because I need to isolate the variable. So I subtract 3 from here, subtract 3. So I have 1.5 minus 3.0. So because the signs are different, I'm going to subtract 1.5 from 3. So this is, come here, this is 2, now it's 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. 2 minus 1 is 1. And then we give it the sign of the larger value. So now we have negative 0.5x is greater than negative 1.5. Now we divide both sides by negative 0.5. Divide by negative 0.5. So now we have 1.5 divided by 0.5. So we move the decimal here, and then we can move the decimal here. So this is 15 divided by 5, which is 3. So now you have x and then you have 3. We're dividing by a negative number, so therefore we are going to switch the signs. This is also an equal to here. Now we have minus 1 over 4x, this is less than equal to 3 over 4x plus 6. First thing we're going to do is to isolate the variables. So I'm going to subtract 3 over 4x from here and also do the same right here. So we have minus 1 over 4 minus 3 over 4. Because we have the same sign, we're going to add the numbers together. So that's 4 over 4, which is 1. So it's going to be minus 1. So you have minus 1x less than equal to 6. We're going to divide by -1. So we have x, we have -6. So this is going to be greater than or equal to. Final example, we have 2/5 minus 3/5 x less than -1/2/5 x. So we're going to isolate by adding 3/5 x to both sides. 3/5 x. So we have -1/2/5 plus 3/5. Since the denominators are the same, I'm just going to convert this to an improper. So this is -7/5 plus 3/5. This is going to give us 5 right here. -7 plus 3, so it's -4/5. So 2/5 is less than -4/5 x. So we can divide both sides by -4/5 -4/5. So 2/5 divided by 4/5 is 12/5 times 5/4. This crosses out. 4 divided by itself, 1. 12 divided by 4, 3. So this is going to be 3. So this is -3 is, we have x right here. Remember, we divided by a negative number, so it switches. This switches the sign. Now we want to write in the format that I believe is the best practice for dealing with inequalities, especially when you're learning. So we want to move x to the left hand side, and then we want to move -3 to the right hand side, and then because we're interchanging positions, so that means that we are going to also switch the signs. Instead of greater than, it's now going to be less than.